I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money. And so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection.
Hoje tem Twitter do presidente Trump.
He made a tweet saying that he is going to unblock it, but that for every ship he unblocks that he takes out of the strait, the owner of the oil will have to pay him 20%. Before, that was called piracy. Isn't that right? Before it was called piracy. So, an important state like the United States, which for a long time I believe fought piracy, cannot now become a pirate.
They are crazy, and we're not going to put it up. Yeah, I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money. And so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection. We're protecting by the countries that we're helping. For instance, you look at the 5 countries. You have Saudi Arabia, you have UAE, you have Qatar, or Qatar as I always say, you have Qatar, Bahrain, and by the way, you have others. You have Kuwait, and you have others, and they will do very well. But we think it's appropriate that we don't need them. You know, we have more oil than any other country in the world. When you add Venezuela, which has been amazing, which has tremendous amounts of oil that we control, when you add Venezuela and everything else, we have more than 50% of the world's supply. We don't need it, but we need it from the standpoint of protecting allies, et cetera, including Israel, including Saudi Arabia, including Qatar, including UAE. We're protecting all of them, and we've done a very effective job. So 4 months ago, these people had military that was very strong, by far the strongest probably in the Middle East. They were called the bully of the Middle East. Now they don't have a navy. They have 159 ships underwater. They had a total of 159 ships. Now every one of them is underwater. They had 230 airplanes, attack planes. They're all gone. They're gone. They had tremendous radar. It's all gone. They had tremendous anti-aircraft. It's all gone. Sadly, their leadership is all gone. They had their first-tier leaders are all dead. Their second-tier leaders are all dead. Their third-tier leaders, who we're dealing with, more or less, some of them are already gone. And then you read fake news like your network, CNN, which is fake news. You read them, you have them say, well, actually, aren't they doing quite well? Let me just tell you, they have now inflation of over 300%. 4 months ago, they had inflation of 5%. Now they're at over 300, could be 350%. They made a deal, they broke it, probably 10 times. And they killed a lot of people. They killed our people. But the protesters, what they've done to the protesters, 52,000. Have you ever seen any of the burial lots where they're burying the protesters? They killed 52,000 protesters, and on my watch, they can't do any of that. So we have them in a position that they don't have any military. There's not a thing they can do about it. All they have is fake news, because they have the fake news, would rather see us lose the war than win the war, which is really treasonous, in a certain way. So we're doing another very major attack tonight. They want to make a deal. They came back. We made a deal 2 days ago, and they want to make a deal. They've been negotiating for 47 years, but nobody's ever hit them militarily. We're hitting them very hard.
Just on Iran, you have said now to Congress that we are back at war. How long do you expect this to take, and what's the legal basis?
Take what?
The war.
Well, I think it's going very fast. We've demolished their military. We're hitting them very hard. We had a deal yesterday, or the day before yesterday. It was all done. And then they broke up that deal immediately because they found out there was something in the deal they didn't like. And they're wired differently, and we're not going to put up with it. We are just going forward. We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait, with the Hormuz Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up just controlling the whole thing. And what they're doing is being very foolish, very stupid, and they've treated people horribly. They've killed 52,000 protesters so far that we can determine. It might be more than that, but 52,000 protesters have been killed, and it's really a terrible situation.
Hoje tem Twitter do presidente Trump.
Today there's a tweet from President Trump. I have a tweet from him in which he says he is going to unblock the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is that channel between Iran and the rest of the world through which Iran does not allow ships carrying oil to pass. He He made a tweet saying that he is going to unblock it, but that for every ship he unblocks that he takes out of the strait, the owner of the oil will have to pay him 20%. Before, that was called piracy. Isn't that right? Before it was called piracy. So, an important state like the United States, which for a long time I believe fought piracy, cannot now become a pirate. That is to say, it has no reason to charge because the Strait of Hormuz is not their responsibility. Besides, it was not closed. Brazil did not invent the war with Iran. Did Brazil fire any shots? No. Did Brazil kill anyone? No. Brazil was not the one that invented this war. So, we cannot accept that a war provoked by the United States, saying that Iran wanted to manufacture a nuclear weapon. I can say that this is a lie, because I was in Iran in 2010. I was there together with Ahmadinejad and with the president of Turkey, signing a document in which Iran committed not to produce nuclear weapons. It would enrich uranium only for scientific purposes, just as Brazil does. It is the same as when they made up that Saddam Hussein had chemical weapons and they went to destroy Iraq. Where are the chemical weapons? That was in 2004. Where are those chemical weapons? If 22 years have already passed. Iran did not have nuclear weapons, nor did it have the capacity to make them, nor was it going to make them. So they made war. And what is happening with that war? The cost of the war is reaching the price of beans here in Brazil. It is reaching the price of rice, tomatoes, and onions because it made fuel more expensive. Diesel is more expensive. Gasoline is going to go up in price. Do you know why it has not gone up even more in Brazil? Because we made the decision to levy taxes on the oil we export.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.